Welcome to this lying down yoga practice. This opportunity to be with yourself mindfully, just as you are, moment to moment. The invitations to move to different poses are completely up to you and what's appropriate for you today. Moving up against the edges, the boundaries, being mindful not to go over, noticing if they're striving, and just allowing things to be as they are today in this moment. And if anything's too much, knowing that you can skip it, you can visualize it in the mind, or just be. And to start with, taking a lying down position, this corpse pose, Shavasana, lying on your back with the legs extended if that's supportive, otherwise the knees can be bent. The head resting on the ground, feeling free to put something under the head if that's needed. Maybe the palms are facing up. And drawing attention in toward the breath. Exploring what's here. If lying down is not an option, staying seated in a chair is also an option. So feeling yourself supported wherever you are. And then exploring the inhale and the exhale. Drawing attention to the feet and how the feet are touching the floor, what parts are touching the floor, maybe just the heel, the outsides of the heels, the back of the heel. Bringing a kind friendliness to the body, this opportunity to befriend whatever is here, with nowhere to go, nothing to be, nothing to do. And as you're ready, on an inhale, extending the arms up toward the ceiling and then up over the head as far as feels good, and the shoulders, knowing when you've hit a boundary and maybe pausing there. Again, knowing you can always come out if it's too much. Maybe reaching the heels the opposite direction, having a nice big stretch. The heels one way, the fingertips the other way. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, letting the arms float back toward the ceiling and then eventually back down beside you, exploring that sensation the whole way, allowing the arms to be held by the floor, by the surface, letting them rest, let the feet rest. Exploring the sensation that's felt. And take a breath in, reaching the arms up toward the ceiling and up overhead as you're ready. Extending, reaching as far as feels good to you, and then just holding it for a couple of breaths, in and out through the nose. And as you're ready, gently lowering the arms down, feeling gravity pull on the arms, the resistance of the muscles. And then again, letting them rest down. Being held, noticing relaxation versus the work in the arms. And allow the knees to bend so the feet are flat on the floor. And focusing in just on the pelvis, so from the floor or from the chair, allowing the pelvis to tilt down toward the floor, feeling a little bit of an arch in the back. So from the floor, from the chair, you can feel that pulling away of the low back from the surface. And then allow the pelvis to tilt toward your head and the small of the back press down. And then allowing the pelvis to rock toward the floor. Just gently going back and forth in a way that feels good for you. It doesn't need to be very big. And exploring maybe how far up the spine the rocking goes. And not by making a bigger movement, but just exploring the back and forth. And take your time finishing this. And then just pause back in the center, letting the pelvis rest. What sensation is here now? And we'll draw both knees in toward the chest. You can hold behind the thighs or on top of the knees. And from the chair, you can round down to the knees, rounding over them. Maybe interlacing the hands or grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe rocking side to side if you're on the floor, massaging the back. Maybe even the forward and back rocking motion might feel good. Utilizing the legs for that. And then just settling in. Pausing there as you hug in. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently releasing the legs or sitting up tall from the chair. Extending the arms up overhead, having a big stretch. And allowing the arms to relax down beside you or on the lap and just pausing, exploring that sensation. And we'll draw the right knee in towards your chest. And from the floor, you can hug it in or you can fold over the leg. Breathing in and out through the nose, holding on either behind the thigh or on top of the knee. Exploring this stretch, this movement in the body, maybe even circling through the ankle, pointing and flexing the foot. And gently releasing the right leg down. Pausing to explore both sides, the right and left. What's experienced right now. And drawing the left knee into the chest. Maybe holding on behind the thigh or on top of the knee. Hugging it in. And maybe circling through the ankle, can circle the other way, pointing and flexing. And letting the foot relax. Extending the left leg out long. Pausing in this position. And then drawing both knees back into the chest, and from the chair folding over those legs. If you would like, you could lift your head up off the ground and hug it in toward the knees, maybe to where the forehead touches the knee. Just noticing if there's striving or if this is supportive. And then noticing if there's a desire to back off too soon as well. Just exploring those natural tendencies when certain sensations arise, the automatic responses, and maybe just being with it. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently releasing down, extending the arms up overhead, having a big stretch. Allowing the arms to rest down beside you, pausing, letting the muscles rest, feeling that relaxation versus contraction of the muscles. And as you're ready, hugging the right knee into the chest, and from the chair, you can extend the left leg out long and fold over the right leg. And from the floor, maybe lifting the head up off the ground, hugging it in toward the knee in this position, noticing how that feels. And again, if there's a striving or desire to back off quickly, sensing into those feelings, sensations, the reactions. Take a breath in and gently releasing, letting the head relax down, the leg relax down, the arms rest, and then just let everything pause and rest. And draw the left knee in toward the chest. And if you're in the chair, extending the right leg out long, folding over the left leg. From the floor, maybe lifting the head up off the ground as the chin tucks, pulling the forehead in toward the knee. And exploring this position and all that arises. And take a breath in. Gently releasing to the floor as you exhale. Allowing the whole body to rest in Shavasana. In a moment, we'll make our way onto all fours. And just think about the way that would be most supportive to you, maybe drawing the knees into the chest and rolling to the side. Just mindfully making your way onto all fours so that your hands are underneath the shoulders and your knees are underneath the hips. And this supportive quadruped position on the hands and knees. Allowing the fingers to spread out wide using the muscles of the hands. And if it's not supportive to be on your hands and knees, you could always be in a chair. We'll move through this cat-cow position. So if you're in the chair, just sitting, scooting forward a little bit so you've got some space behind you. On the inhale, lift the chin up and the tailbone up, creating that arch in the back. And on the exhale, round through the spine. Gently making your way back and forth from the chair or from all fours. exploring the spine in this way. Using the exhales to round, the inhales to lift. And take your time finishing up this one. Pausing right back in the center on all fours. Feeling the weight evenly distributed between the hands, the knees. We'll extend the right arm forward with the palm facing in and extend the left leg back. Being patient with the balance, keeping the neck nice and long, pressing down through that left arm, keeping the left shoulder strong, pulling in through the belly button, extending through the heel, through the fingertips, keeping the spine naturally long, noticing if there's a dip there, pulling in through the stomach, and then just feeling the work and the effort to hold you in this position and all that arises as you strengthen in this position. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let the hand and the knee lower back down, feeling balanced on all fours. And take a couple of cat-cows. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. And pausing back in the center. Extending the left arm forward, palm facing in. The right leg goes back. Pressing through the right hand, keeping the right shoulder strong as you balance yourself. Pulling in through the belly button, keeping the back nice and flat. Reaching through the heel, through the fingertips. And then just exploring all that arises as you hold here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, release the hand and knee down. And take a couple of cat-cows. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. Exhale, round. You can let the big toes together. Press yourself back into child's pose. You can let the arms stretch out in front as you let the hips come back to the heels. And allowing the head to rest on something. You could grab a pillow. You could stack your fist or your palms. Just making sure the forehead has somewhere, the whole head has somewhere to rest. Breathing into the low back. Pausing in this restorative posture. And mindfully making your way onto your back. You can use the sides of the legs to help you roll down, keeping the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor. Allowing the arms to extend down beside you with the palms down on the ground. Letting everything settle in here for a moment. And as you're ready, pressing through the feet, lifting the hips up off the ground for bridge pose. Feeling the feet press down, keeping the neck long. And exploring the work and effort to hold you in this position, knowing you can come down at any point. Maybe even extending the arms up overhead the backs of the hands on the ground with the neck still long. Just choosing the position that's best for you right now. Seeing what the experience is in this position as you hold and work. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently lowering down, pausing with your back down on the mat. Allowing everything to settle in here. And allow the feet to come together. Allowing the arms to either reach out to the sides like airplane wings, or bent at the elbows like cactus arms, or the hands stacked one on top of the other behind the head. Any of those positions work. And allowing the knees to fall over to the right side, letting the left foot come up off the ground. If you're seated in the chair, finding length up through the crown of the head, you can let the left hand come to the outside of the right leg. Just very mildly, gently twisting to the right as you look over that shoulder. You could take from the floor, you could take the eye gaze past your left arm or elbow. Just a gentle twist. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, letting the knees come back to the center, pausing there, exploring the right and left sides. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, letting the knees fall over to the left side. Maybe the eye gaze goes past the right shoulder. And from the chair, allowing the right hand to come to the outside of the left leg, lengthening upward, twisting gently. Finding the edges here, exploring, seeing what comes up. And take a breath in, exhaling the legs back to the center. Pausing here for a moment, exploring the right and left sides. Let the arms rest back down beside you. Extending the right leg out long. And taking a breath in. And then lifting it upward. So from the chair, from the floor, extending that right leg up as much as feels good to you. Reaching through the heel, noticing if the pelvis comes up off the ground, stabilizing there. And maybe pointing and flexing or rolling the foot around in this position. And from the floor, you could take your hands back behind the leg if you would like, holding on behind the thigh or the calf. And knowing when you've had enough, you can always release the leg down, particularly from the chair. You could extend it out and fold over it. And from the floor, if you'd like, you could lift your head up off the floor, letting the hands grasp maybe behind the calf or wherever reaches. And then just Breathing in and out through the nose. Exploring this position. Take a breath in. Gently lowering the head down if you lifted it. And then nice and slowly lowering the right leg back down to the ground as you resist gravity as it comes down. Extending the left leg out to meet it. Reach the arms up overhead and have a big stretch. And you can let the arms rest down beside you, pausing here. Letting the right knee bend and be flat on the floor. Extending through the left leg, start to lift it upward from the chair or from the floor. Going as far as feels good to you. Finding a stretch amongst the work. Reaching through the heel. And maybe circling the ankle or pointing and flexing the foot. And the leg doesn't have to be lifted if you're on the chair. You can just extend it out long, coming forward to the edge of your chair. And from the floor, maybe holding on behind the thigh. Breathing into the back of this leg. From the chair, you can fold over the leg. And from the floor, maybe you'd like to lift your head up off the floor, allowing the chin to tuck, maybe holding up higher on the calf. And breathing into the back of the left leg. Exploring what's to be known now. And take a breath in. And gently releasing the upper body down and nice and slowly lowering the left leg down to the ground. Extending the right leg out and having a big stretch. And letting the arms come down beside you and just pausing. And then from the floor, you can roll over to your side, allowing the bottom arm to support your head, or you could grab a pillow or something to support your head. Extending the legs out long, letting your top hand be a support on the floor, so just in front of the rib cage. From the chair, just walk the left leg out to the side a little bit, and maybe keeping it bent or maybe extending it. And from the floor, we'll lift that top leg up off the ground, extending through the heel, breathing in and out through the nose, finding a position that feels okay for you to hold. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose as you extend through the heel. And lifting the leg up sideways. And take a breath in. And gently lowering the leg back down. Or closing it back up if you were in the chair. Pausing there for a moment. And then as you're ready, lifting again. Extending through the heel. Breathing in and out through the nose. And feeling the work and effort to keep you in this position. And gently lowering the leg back down. Pausing there for a moment. And then as you're ready, rolling over onto your side, other side. Either using the arm for support or a pillow. Stacking the legs. Extending them out long and letting the top hand be a support just in front of the rib cage. And as you're ready, extending that top leg out. And from the chair, you could walk the right leg out to the side with the knee bent or straight. And just exploring the work and effort in the hip, and maybe even with the hand experiencing which muscles are working. Noticing that the buttocks, the glute, and the very back is not working as soft. These hip muscles are strong. Lifting the leg up in this position, taking a breath in, and gently lowering the leg down, pausing for a breath. And take an inhale, and then lifting that right leg, that top leg back up again, or walking it out to the side if you're in the chair. Exploring the work and effort. And take a breath in, and gently lower that leg down. Then rolling onto your belly. And if you're on the floor, allowing your head to turn to the side with one ear down on the ground, the arms down beside you with your palms facing up. Letting the head rest in this way with the ear down. And if you're in the chair, sitting up nice and tall, letting the palms rest, you can turn the head to one side, letting it stretch in this direction. Allowing the head to come to the center, and on the floor, letting the chin rest on the mat. Letting the palms face down on the mat. Squeeze the right leg up nice and tight and extend it, reaching it, lifting it upward just a little bit. And from the chair, just creating a little bit of an arch in the back. But from the floor, squeezing that leg up tight as you lift it back behind you, up toward the ceiling, a nice strong leg. Feeling the work of the upper back to even help you keep it in this position. Take a breath in, and then gently lower that leg down. Squeeze the left leg up nice and tight, and lift the left leg up off the floor. Feeling the upper back muscles doing the work. And gently releasing down, letting the opposite ear come to the floor as you let the head rest down. And in the chair, looking the opposite direction. And from the floor, letting the arms extend down beside you with the back of the hands on the floor and the chin back on the mat. And from the chair, letting your head look forward, scooting forward a little bit so you can create a little arch in the back, lifting the heart toward the ceiling. And from the floor, keep the legs strong and anchored, and just lifting the upper body up off the floor. Both the chair and the floor, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting up through the heart. Using the back muscles here, finding length, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Take a breath in and gently lower yourself down, letting one ear come to the mat, gazing to the opposite direction. And from the chair, allowing the head to look one direction. Letting your head turn and look the other way. And from the floor, bringing your hands underneath your chest, pressing yourself onto all fours and into child's pose. Big toes together, knees can be together or extended or spread out apart. And then again, just supporting your head. And from the chair, finding that neutral position in the spine or rounding over the legs. Breathing into the low back. And take another deep breath. Deep exhale. And you can gently bring yourself up, making your way back on the back, letting your knees be bent, using the sides of the legs to help you roll down, getting yourself supported in the chair, just pausing for a moment as you let everything settle in. And extending the legs out long. If you're on the floor and that feels supportive to you, maybe reaching the arms up overhead and having one more big stretch. And then let your arms rest beside you as you find your supportive Shavasana, this corpse pose. And in the chair, letting your hands rest on the legs, palms up or down. And choosing to close the eyes or gaze down the nose or cheekbones. Just drawing attention inward. And maybe focusing on the breath or the sounds or the touch of the hands or the feet. And just inviting this stillness after all the movement. Inviting this stillness to just be here. As we draw this practice to a close, maybe giving yourself gratitude for practicing, for being with whatever arose today, for making space for that. And knowing whatever did occur is the practice. It's not to look a certain way, but just to be present with what is. Maybe inviting some gentle movement to the body, wiggling the toes or the fingers. Or maybe you'd like to stay in Shavasana for a bit, doing whatever serves you best in this moment. We'll use the chimes to signify the end of this practice and allow you to mindfully move into the next activity for yourself.